Man is by nature a political animal. Aristotle. The state exists for the sake of a good life, and not for the sake of life only. Aristotle. The virtue of justice is the bond of men and states. Aristotle. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. Aristotle. The state is a community of citizens in which supreme power is vested in the people and exercised by them or their elected representatives. Aristotle. Politics is the master science and the architectonic science, for all other sciences are subordinate to it. Aristotle. The greatest thing by far is to be a master of yourself. Aristotle. Democracy is when the indigent, and not the men of property, are the rulers. Aristotle. A state exists for the sake of a good life, and not for the sake of life only. Aristotle. The law is reason free from passion. Aristotle. Equality consists in the same treatment of similar persons. Aristotle. Men create gods after their own image, not only with regard to their form but with regard to their mode of life. Aristotle. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. Aristotle. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. Aristotle. Man perfected by society is the best of all animals, he is the most terrible of all when he lives without law, and without justice. Aristotle. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Aristotle. Happiness depends on ourselves. Aristotle. The soul never thinks without a picture. Aristotle. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Aristotle. It is the nature of desire not to be satisfied, and most men live only for the gratification of it. Aristotle. We must as second best, take the least of the evils. Aristotle. The ideal man bears the accidents of life with dignity and grace, making the best of circumstances. Aristotle. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. Aristotle. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. Aristotle. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. Aristotle. Nature does nothing in vain. Aristotle. Character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. Aristotle. Friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. Aristotle. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Aristotle. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Aristotle. What lies in our power to do, lies in our power not to do. Aristotle. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Aristotle. Education is an ornament in prosperity and a refuge in adversity. Aristotle. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Aristotle. The more you know you don't know. Aristotle. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Aristotle. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. Aristotle. Wise men speak when they have something to say, fools speak because they have to say something. Aristotle. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. Aristotle. He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. Aristotle. A friend to all is a friend to none. Aristotle. The one exclusive sign of thorough knowledge is the power of teaching. Aristotle. To give away money is an easy matter and in any man's power. But to decide to whom to give it, and how large and when, and for what purpose and how, is neither in every man's power nor an easy matter. Aristotle. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living differ from the dead. Aristotle. At his best, man is the noblest of all animals, separated from law and justice, he is the worst. Aristotle. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. Aristotle. All human actions have one or more of these seven causes: chance, nature, compulsion, habit, reason, passion, and desire. Aristotle. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. Aristotle. What it lies in our power to do, it lies in our power not to do. Aristotle.